What's going on, guys? Billy here, and today we're going to be checking out the new DJI Mic system. You might think that this is a weird release from them because DJI usually makes drones and gimbals, but they've made some significant improvements in the microphones in their pocket and action cameras, so it makes sense that they would put that same technology into a wireless microphone system. Now, I've actually been using this mic system since November of 2021, so it's been a little over 6 months that I've been using these on the daily to capture audio. They were originally supposed to be released alongside the Action 2, then they got pushed back to January 2022 and then pushed back a little bit further to April 2022, but here we are now and they are ready to go. If you head over to DJI's site, you'll be able to reserve them now for $329. You can also find them at third-party retailers like Adorama for pre-order. Now, we really can't get into this video until we discuss the elephant in the room, and that is Rode's wireless mic system. The first Rode Wireless Go was a huge success and really made the capturing of audio through a wireless lav system easy and effortless. Not long after this release, Rode introduced a new version of their mic system that included a second microphone and onboard storage. With that said, I think that there's going to be 3 different camps of people that are interested in DJI's mic system. The first group have never owned a wireless lav microphone system before and are wondering if they should pick up either of Rode's offerings or if they should go with DJI's mic system. The second group already owned that first generation Rode Wireless Go system and are wondering if they should make the upgrade to the second generation Rode Wireless Go system, or instead if they should come over and pick up DJI's mics. And the third group of people already own the newest second generation Rode Wireless Go system and are wondering, even though the products are very similar, if they should make the jump over to DJI's mic system. With that said, no matter which group you're in, I'm going to help you decide whether or not the DJI mics are right for you by going over what they're capable of and show you how to use them. And I'll also do some quick comparisons between both of Rode's offerings with their Wireless Go series. Now, you heard me mention that I've been using a pre-production version for the past few months, and quite frankly, there aren't many differences between the one that I've been using and the one that is actually going to be shipped to those that purchase them. I will say that the case and hinge feel of a much higher quality on the production version here, and the modules fit into the case a lot better. Also, rather than the small pouch that originally came with my pre-production model, we now have this bigger, larger pouch that can fit the charging case and all of the extra cords that you might need. I think that this bigger pouch is a much better alternative. Now, for those unfamiliar, the way that DJI's mic system works is much like other wireless lav systems. In this case, we have 2 transmitters and 1 receiver, all of which come stored in this handy charging case. For me, this case is actually one of my favorite parts about using these microphones because it makes storing and protecting them easy. It, of course, also makes charging them easy as it provides up to 15 total hours of recording time, and I don't have to plug in each module individually through a USB-C cable. Instead, I can just charge everything through the case through one USB-C cable. Finally, the continuity between each of the devices really improves the overall functionality of using these microphones. When I flip the case open, the receiver in the middle shows me the battery on each of my devices and gives me an understanding of how much space remains on the internal memory of each transmitter. Now, to focus in on each of the modules, we'll first look at the transmitter, which is made of plastic and has a metal clip on the back for mounting to someone's waistband, inside of, say, a jacket pocket, or onto a collar. Now, the reason that you might want to mount one of these transmitters onto someone's collar is because it actually has a built-in microphone. So again, you can take just the transmitter itself with the clip, put it onto somebody's, say, sweatshirt right here and record audio directly like this. Now, sometimes this might not always work, the clip. Sometimes someone might be wearing an outfit where you just can't find a spot to clip it on. I mean, even like this with a sweatshirt, it's a little bit close to my mouth and it's kind of hidden underneath of my chin. So to get a little bit of separation from the microphone and my mouth, I can actually use the magnet that they have here on the back. So if we take the magnet off, it's a little bit strong here. We take the magnet off and we put this, say, on the front of my shirt. I'll go ahead and feed the magnet up underneath of my shirt, like so, and then I can find it with the clip, and there we now have it sitting on my shirt. Now, I might want to move this up just a little bit, and I'd probably instead put the actual transmitter underneath of my sweatshirt and have the magnet on the outside, but regardless, this is a great mounting system just in case you have someone wearing some sort of clothing that really isn't clip friendly. Now, while using that built-in mic is convenient, I find that plugging a lavalier mic into the 3.5mm audio jack on the transmitter gives you better quality audio and looks cleaner when mounted to the person's shirt. It's also a lot more comfortable for for that person to have a smaller mic mounted onto their shirt than this larger transmitter that's a little bit heavier. Now, along with the built-in microphone and the 3.5mm audio jack, there's also a USB-C port for charging the transmitter and pulling audio files off of the internal storage. There's a power button, a record button, and a pairing button. So theoretically, you could use this transmitter or this device, the microphone, as a field recorder by just pulling it out of the case and then hitting record. That recording will then save to the internal storage, and you don't have to use a receiver. Now, while the green status light blinks green to indicate that the transmitter is powered on, a red LED on the opposite side will illuminate to a solid color to let you know that the current microphone is on and recording. If that red LED is instead blinking, that means the microphone is muted. There's also a vibration motor inside that gives you taptic feedback when the microphones are powered on and off, as well as when they start and stop recording. Having that 8 GB of internal storage or 15 hours of stored audio on each of the transmitters is really helpful for a couple of different reasons. As I mentioned, you can use them basically as field recorders. You don't need the receiver. You can just take the microphone out and start recording, and all that audio is saved internally. Also, it technically gives you unlimited range with these microphones. So if you're recording someone and they step out of range, you know that if it's recording to the internal storage, that no matter if that signal drops out on your headphones to the camera, you're always going to have nice clean audio stored on the internal storage. Also, it gives you a high quality source of audio directly stored on the internal storage rather than having to go through potential preamps on different cameras from different manufacturers. So you've got that nice high quality audio stored right there on your internal storage. And finally, probably my favorite, is it acts as a backup. So just in case anything happens to the audio from my camera, say the cable goes bad or the receiver stops working, I know that I've got that audio saved as a backup on the internal storage. Now, as for the receiver, this is where I find the experience of using DJI's mics is far superior to other options on the market. The physical design is plastic, just like the transmitters. There's two 3.5mm audio jacks on the side. So one is for audio out to the device you're recording to, and another is to monitor audio with the headphones directly from the receiver. On the other side is a power button and a USB-C charging port. Now, there's also this clip here for mounting it to clothing or sliding into the hot shoe of a camera, but this clip is actually removable. It slides right out and exposes pins that are similar to the mounting point on DJI's pocket cameras. Here we can attach either a lightning or USB-C plug to feed audio directly into your smartphone so that you can ditch the crappy microphones on your phone for a dedicated lav mic while monitoring audio and changing settings on the receiver. Speaking of changing settings, this is one of the big reasons why I enjoy using DJI's mic system, because the receiver here has a screen on it that not only is used for monitoring audio and battery life, but also is a touch screen and allows you to change between different settings. So this main page here shows you all the information that you need at a glance to monitor audio while you're recording. In the top left, it shows what mode we're recording in, either mono safety, or stereo. Next to that, it shows the gain of the receiver, which I currently have set to +2. Up at the top right, it shows you the connection strength between each transmitter and the receiver, as well as the battery life of the receiver itself. And then under this section, we have two separate monitoring sections for each of the transmitters. It allows you to check on the volume level and battery life. If you were instead using only one of the transmitters and not both, then this section would show just that one monitoring area spread across the entire screen. Now, from this receiver, you can control each of these transmitters individually by swiping up on the screen on their respective sides. So if I swipe up on the left side, it brings me to the controls for TX1. If I instead swipe on the right side, it shows the controls for TX2. From here, you can record directly onto the transmitter, so it will save that audio file directly to the internal storage, and this is shown on that main screen with a small red recording dot on each of the respective sides. You can also mute each transmitter, quickly check how much storage is left, and you can also format the internal storage on each of the transmitters after dumping all that audio onto your computer. Now, swiping down until we get back to the main screen will allow us to swipe down and access the settings menu. From here, we can choose our recording mode between mono safety channel, or stereo, which will record one transmitter's audio to the left channel and the other transmitter's audio to the right channel inside of your camera. Just know that if you selected stereo as your recording mode, it's only going to change the audio that is recorded inside of the camera through the receiver. But if you're recording audio directly to the transmitters to the internal storage, it'll still save as mono on each of them. Moving on through the list here, we can adjust the gain of the microphones between -12 decibels and +12 decibels. We can also adjust the volume of the audio coming from the headphone jack on the receiver itself, also between -12 decibels and +12 decibels. And finally, we have a settings menu that allows us to turn on or off the low cut filter. We can also turn the vibration notification on the transmitters on or off. You can pair new transmitters, adjust the gain individually for each transmitter, adjust the brightness of the screen on the receiver, change your location, adjust the date and time on the device, reset your settings, access firmware and device information, and finally, you can view the compliance information. Just as a brief comparison, the first Rode Wireless Go system doesn't give you much of an option to change anything other than the gain. You don't even have finite control over the exact decibel count. Instead, there are just 3 settings: low, medium, and high. You, of course, also only have 1 transmitter with this system as well. Now, the second Rode Wireless Go system added a lot of great features like a second transmitter, internal memory on each of the transmitters, and a screen that allows us to manage each of those transmitters, but with no touchscreen. You're reliant on a few buttons to make all of your changes. Even at that, there isn't a menu section like on DJI's mic receiver, so there's far less functionality. So yeah, that is a lot of customizing made available to you through DJI's mic system through the receiver, a lot more than what Rode offers through their Wireless Go system, both the first and second generation. I use these microphones all of the time, whether I'm miking myself up for YouTube videos inside. I've just got like a boom mic, but if I'm recording outside, I'm using a lav microphone. I also mic up my clients a lot of time that I'm working with, shooting for real estate or shooting interview style videos. It's so nice just kind of handing them the microphone, clipping it to their shirt, throwing the transmitter in their pocket, and then going back to my receiver and controlling everything from there, from the gain to the low cut filter to the headphone volume. I mean, I'm doing everything through the receiver on the touchscreen, and almost 9 times out of 10, I'm using the audio stored on the internal storage here on the transmitter itself. So I'm monitoring directly from the receiver, and I'm just using the audio track inside of my camera as a reference to sync in post. Okay, so a majority of this video has been going over the functionality of the DJI mic system. But what about how they sound? Because after all, they are microphones, right? So what I want to do is to kind of set a basis of which one sounds best, and to give you an understanding of the difference in sound between what's on the market right now, I'll give you an audio test between the Rode Wireless Go 1, the Rode Wireless Go 2, and the DJI mics. And then after that, I'll give you a quick sample from one of Rode's lavalier mics. So instead of looking or talking directly into the transmitter, I'm going to be instead talking through a lavalier microphone plugged into the DJI mic system. This is an audio test using the Rode Wireless Go 1 mounted to my shirt about 6 inches from my mouth. Usually on this channel, I'm reviewing drones and showing how to take better photos and videos, but audio is such an important part of video that I figured showing the difference between these microphones was definitely important. This is an audio test using the Rode Wireless Go 2 mounted to my shirt about 6 inches from my mouth. Usually on this channel, I'm reviewing drones and showing how to take better photos and videos, but audio is such an important part of video that I figured showing the difference between these microphones was definitely important. This is an audio test using the DJI mic mounted to my shirt about 6 inches from my mouth. Usually on this channel, I'm reviewing drones and showing how to take better photos and videos, but audio is such an important part of video that I figured showing the difference between these microphones was definitely important. This is an audio test using the Rode Lavalier 2 with the DJI mic mounted to my shirt about 6 inches from my mouth. Usually on this channel, I'm reviewing drones and showing how to take better photos and videos, but audio is such an important part of video that I figured showing the difference between these microphones was definitely important. So what did you think after listening to the different audio examples from the microphones sitting here on the table in front of me? Personally, I think that it went in order from sounding worst to best. So that first generation Rode Wireless Go sounded a little bit tinny. I think that the Rode Wireless Go 2 sounded better, but not much better. I would clump both of them together and say they sound too tinny for my liking, not enough low-end frequency. I think that the built-in mic on the DJI mic was definitely better. It was a little bit more full, a little bit more crisp and clear, but I'd actually go against using any of the transmitters directly, the built-in mics. First of all, they're a little bit heavy to be clipping onto your shirt. I mean, I guess it's good in a pinch, but I think that the Lav 2 from Rode by far sounded better than all of these built-in microphones. It's also a lot easier to just clip onto your shirt, but overall it sounded more full, more crisp, and more clean. And of course, everything that we listened to here from these examples was just raw, straight out of the recorder, straight out of the camera. But now what I want to do is share with you some real-world examples using the DJI mic and the Rode Lav 2 here to show you exactly how good this mic is when using it in a lot of different scenarios.
All right, here we are outside of our newest listing, 3 Kings Lane, right here in Haddonfield, New Jersey. Billy, can you hear that?
I can't hear anything.
Absolutely, nothing, nada. This home sits on a quiet street, private, very close to downtown Haddonfield.
Welcome to 44 Gill Road in Haddonfield, New Jersey. This 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath beauty is on this quiet tree-lined street in the heart of the Gill Tract neighborhood. Let's go inside and check it out.
All right, so hopefully that transition was cool, but it probably didn't end up working out. So now we're gonna take our first flight with the Mini SE. The conditions are actually pretty good. We've got an overcast, although the sun is really beaming down hard on me right now. I did just update the firmware, so we've only got about 86% on the battery here. I totally forgot how quiet this drone was.
Hey everyone, Brian Dowell, and I am here in front of my newest luxury listing in Voorhees, New Jersey. 7 Winfield Way is a custom-built Staliga home with over 4,500 square feet of living space and an additional 1,500 in the finished basement. This house sits on a beautiful, oversized lot at the end of a cul-de-sac. Why don't you take a look inside and I'll meet you in there.
So now comes decision time. Remember, in the beginning of this video, I said that there are going to be 3 different camps of people looking at picking up DJI's mic system. For those people, I made a quick chart to understand the differences. I would say that DJI's mic system is basically better in every single way than the direct comparison to Rode's 2nd generation wireless Go system, and of course, both of them are better than the 1st generation of Rode's wireless Go system. If you're in any of the scenarios that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, whether you're new to wireless audio and are trying to figure out which system to buy, or if you already own either of Rode's wireless mics, I would recommend upgrading to DJI's mics for better control over your audio, for the better charging and storage solution with the charging case, and for the general ease of use. And with that, I would love to hear your thoughts on DJI's mics down in the comments section below. Let me know, and as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.